For the next 60 seconds, say nothing. No texts, no scrolling, no replies forming in your head. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a quiet lake at dawn. The surface is glass. Your worries are stones in your hand. You do not throw them. You just feel their weight. Ask yourself, when was the last time you met your life without noise? What happens to your relationships, your decisions, your sense of self when you stop being constantly available? When you stop feeding every urge with an instant response, everything changes. This is not withdrawal. This is not indifference. This is the healing power of silence. Stay with me. In the next few minutes, you will hear why silence clarifies, how it protects your energy, how it reshapes your social dynamics, and the simple rituals that make stillness your strongest ally. The promise is simple. If you can sit in quiet, you can stand in any storm. Before we begin, notice your shoulders. Let them drop. Notice your breath. Let it land deeper. You do not have to earn this moment. You just have to enter it. Here is the problem. We live in an age of constant leakage. Our attention bleeds through every open tab, every vibration, every tiny window where someone can reach us. Our minds become lobbies with revolving doors. People and problems rush in and out. We confuse motion with meaning, noise with knowledge, urgency with importance. In this constant churn, your inner voice is drowned by a chorus of demands. You feel pulled toward validation, toward updates, toward the next fragment of news. Your nervous system never gets to power down. You sleep, but you do not restore. You speak, but you do not connect. You decide, but you do not choose. You are in conversation with everything except yourself. There is a quiet grief under all this. The grief of missing your own life in real time. The grief of becoming fluent in everyone else's expectations while forgetting the shape of your own desire. It shows up as irritability, as burnout, as decision fatigue. It shows up as the subtle feeling that your day is slipping like sand between your fingers. When you finally get a free hour, your brain is jittery, hungry for more input, afraid of the blank page of stillness. Silence can feel like a threat because it asks you to meet what you have postponed. But it is not a threat. It is a doorway. Let us pause on a simple truth. Quote, "In the quiet, the heart explains itself." Unquote. If you find that line comforting, it is because some part of you remembers. Remember mornings when the world felt big and your problems felt small. Remember walks where solutions arrived unannounced. Remember the way a deep breath reorders your thoughts without you trying. Silence is not the absence of life. It is the container that gives life its shape. Here is the theory. Noise is projection. Silence is reception. When we fill every gap with commentary, we project our anxieties onto the moment. We label and judge. We force incomplete pictures into fixed meanings. But when we enter silence, something else happens. Perception sharpens. The raw data of experience streams in without interference. In silence, your mind has room to triangulate, to connect patterns, to notice subtle signals. You transition from reacting to sensing. A second quote, a compass to hold. Quote, "Where words are few, the truth is loud." Unquote. The mechanism is not mystical, it is energetic. Your attention is psychic energy. Where it goes, your life grows. Every notification tax you pay depletes the budget of presence you have for what matters. Silence is a sovereign budget. It is the practice of intentionally conserving and directing your psychic energy. When you stop the leaks, your focus compounds. Insight returns with interest. Let us look more closely at the mechanisms that make silence healing. First, projection and the mirror of stillness. When you are quiet, the mind reveals its looping narratives. You see projections you would otherwise act out. The fear that someone is upset with you, the story that you are behind, the reflex to fix what is not yours. In silence, these patterns appear like ripples. When you do not react, the water clears. The point is not to banish thought. The point is to watch thought long enough for it to recognize itself as thought, not reality. The mirror of stillness shows you what you are about to throw at the world. Second, psychic energy and conservation. Think of your attention as a finite charge each day. Every time you check, refresh, and respond immediately, you discharge. It feels like micro boosts, but the net effect is depletion. Now imagine giving your attention a home, a ritual of silence morning and evening. You are not ignoring life, you are charging your battery. A charged battery handles load without overheating. A charged mind meets complexity with composure. Third, the nervous system reset. Silence is a natural signal of safety to the body. When you decrease input, The sympathetic fight or flight circuitry eases, breathing deepens. The vagus nerve engages. The prefrontal cortex regains leadership from the alarm system. In this state, you do not catastrophize, you calculate. You do not scramble, you select. This is not about becoming slow, it is about becoming steady. Fourth, the field effect. Your inner silence shapes the field around you. When you stop feeding drama, it starves. When you stop mirroring reactivity, it dissipates. When your baseline is calm, you become a tuning fork. Others unconsciously align to the frequency you carry, or they fall away. Either outcome is a gift. Now the social dynamics. This is where silence disrupts patterns that keep you stuck. Detachment triggers control narratives. When you stop being instantly available, people who rely on your immediate compliance may feel threatened. They may label your silence as cold, selfish, or manipulative. They will try to pull you back into the old dance by escalating urgency, guilt, or chaos. Understand what is happening. Your silence removes the old supply of attention. The system pushes to restore equilibrium. Do not take it personally. Systems prefer the familiar to the healthy. Boundaries invite disclosure. When you listen without rushing to fill the space, people reveal their deeper intentions. The person who wanted a quick yes now shows their true stakes. The colleague who masked hostility with friendliness reveals their pattern. Silence creates a truth vacuum. Authenticity flows in, or the lack of it becomes obvious. Both outcomes serve clarity. Presence redistributes power. In fast, noisy exchanges, dominance belongs to the loud and quick. In slow, spacious conversation, power shifts to the grounded. Your calm pacing sets the tempo. You can ask one precise question and let silence do the heavy lifting. Pressure migrates off of you and onto the issue. What is not real cannot survive the pause. Stillness ends emotional outsourcing. When you stop rescuing others from discomfort with immediate reassurance, they meet their own capacities. You are not abandoning anyone. You are allowing reality to teach. Your quiet is not a verdict. It is an invitation for everyone to grow up a little. Here is a reframe that will help you stand firm. Silence is not withdrawal from life. It is participation at the right depth. Silence is not passive. It is active choosing. It is the discipline of not scattering your life force on what does not matter. You do not owe anyone your constant availability. You owe your life the dignity of your full presence. Quote, you are allowed to be the calm in your own story. Unquote. Let us shift from concept to practice. Here are simple micro-habits that root silence into your day. Micro-habit 1. The first 5 minutes. Before you touch your phone, sit and breathe. 3 minutes is fine, 5 is excellent. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Inhale through the nose for a count of 4. Hold for 2. Exhale through the nose for 6. Let your exhale be longer than your inhale. You are setting your nervous system to calm. Ask one question into the quiet. What is essential today? Wait for the smallest answer. Trust the whisper. Micro-habit 2. The one reply later. Choose one thread in your life where you are reflexively instant. A chat, an email, a family request. For the next 7 days, reply later by design, not to punish, to observe. Watch what happens inside you during the gap. Watch what happens in the relationship. You are training your psychic energy to be chosen, not chased. Micro-habit 3. The sound fasting window. Set 1 hour per day with no inputs, no music, no podcasts, no videos. If that feels impossible, start with 20 minutes. Walk or sit or clean in silence. Let the brain detox from processed sound. In the absence of outer narratives, your inner narrative begins to reorganize. This is not empty time. This is repair. Micro-habit 4. The pause before truth. When asked a question, take one slow breath before answering. If you do not know, say so. If you need time, ask for it. If you feel triggered, name your state and wait. The pause itself is often the intervention. It interrupts the autopilot that used to drag you into commitments and conflicts you did not choose. Micro-habit 5. The closing ritual. End your day with a small silence. Lights dim, screens off. Sit and scan your body from head to toe. Ask, what am I carrying that is not mine? With each exhale, imagine placing it down. Whatever remains is yours to honor, not to fix overnight. Sleep inside that gentleness. These habits are not about perfection. They are about pattern. Each small act is a vote for peace. Consistency matters more than scale. let us talk about how silence reshapes the inner landscape. When you practice silence, self-trust grows. You learn that you can hold a feeling without immediately acting it out. You develop range. You can be with boredom without grasping for stimulation. You can be with sadness without chasing shallow highs. You can be with uncertainty without rushing into premature certainty. This is emotional fitness. It is the difference between being thrown by the waves and learning to float. Clarity emerges not as a lightning bolt, but as a slow sunrise. Questions that felt tangled begin to separate. You notice which obligations are costumes for fear. You notice which connections are nourished by mutual presence, and which depend on your exhaustion. You become honest about trade-offs. You become generous with what actually matters, and frugal with what never did. Your yes is cleaner, your no is kinder. Creativity returns. Not the frantic creativity of deadlines and dopamine, but the deep kind that arrives when the soil is not constantly disturbed. Ideas surface whole. Solutions appear from angles you could not compute under pressure. Even rest begins to feel productive because you are letting the system process. Silence is not you doing nothing. Silence is you letting your mind do what it was designed to do when it is not under siege. Relationships shift. Some will test your new pace. Some will leave. Let them. Others will draw closer, relieved by your steadiness. You will attract those who are nourished by quiet, not threatened by it. Your conversations will deepen. Your conflicts will simplify. The right people adjust to your peace. The wrong people require your chaos. There will be resistance. Your own mind will bargain. Just a quick check. Just one response. Just a little noise to bridge the silence. Notice the urge and breathe. Ask, what is this impulse protecting me from feeling? Often it is a small loneliness, a fear of being left out, a worry that you will miss the window. Meet that little one with kindness. Tell yourself, we are not missing our life to keep up with someone else's. We are not abandoning ourselves to avoid a quiet minute. We are learning to belong to ourselves at last. Now let us address a common myth. Silence is not a luxury for monks or vacations. Silence is a choice you can make in the middle of a busy life. It is the comma in your sentence. It is the door you close for 5 minutes at lunch. It is the walk between meetings without your headphones. It is the intentional gap between receiving a message and replying. You do not have to escape your life to practice silence. You introduce silence into the life you already have and watch the life you already have transform. What about conflict? Does silence mean you avoid hard conversations? No, silence makes hard conversations humane. When you pause, you can tell the truth without poisoning it. You can hear what is said and what is unsaid. You can distinguish between the content of a disagreement and the charge around it. Silence lets you address the issue without attacking the person. You can say, I need time, instead of reacting from adrenaline. You can say, let me sit with this, and return with wisdom instead of weapons. What about ambition? Does silence make you soft? No. Silence makes you precise. You still move. You just move clean. You choose leverage over frenzy. You design your week around deep work and deep rest. You stop mistaking visibility for value. You stop performing productivity to calm your anxiety. In the quiet, you remember that the strongest trees do not grow by shouting. They grow by rooting. A brief interlude. If this message is landing, consider staying for the next parts where we explore silent leadership, how to practice quiet boundaries without guilt, and a guided 3-minute stillness routine you can use anywhere. This channel is a space for depth. If you value that, subscribe for more episodes like this. Your presence here helps us keep noise low and meaning high. Back to the journey. Imagine a version of you a few weeks from now. Your mornings begin with breath instead of brightness from a screen. Your days contain pockets of soundless focus. Your evenings end with a gentle scan instead of a final scroll. People notice something different. You are less rushed, more exact. You respond instead of react. You listen, and people feel seen. You decline what is misaligned without fury or apology. You conserve your energy, and then spend it like a gift. You do not broadcast every inner weather report. You bring stable sky. This is the transformation silence offers. From mental chaos to inner clarity. From social entanglement to sovereign presence. From constant leakage to chosen flow. Not by hiding, by inhabiting. Let us practice right now. Close your eyes if you can. If not, soften your gaze. Inhale slowly for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Again, inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Again, inhale for 4, Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Feel your jaw unclench. Feel your shoulders lower by 1 inch. Feel your belly let go. Ask inside, what is one thing I can put down today? Wait. Whatever arrives, honor it. You do not need to fix everything. You can put down one thing. That is enough for today. You might wonder, how do I explain this to others? You do not need a manifesto. You need a boundary. Try these lines. I respond within a day, not an hour. I will think about it and get back to you tomorrow. I am in a focus block. Let us talk after lunch. Thank you for understanding. No justification, just clarity. You might worry you will miss opportunities. Here is the paradox. Silence makes you more available to the right opportunities. The ones that match your values and rhythm. The urgent and misaligned will pass. Let them. The aligned will wait for your grounded yes. When you show you respect your time, good work and good people respect you back. There is one more layer. Silence not only heals the individual, it heals the collective. In noisy groups, wisdom is lost to volume. In groups that practice pause, wisdom emerges. Meetings that begin with 60 seconds of breath end with better decisions. Families that allow quiet at the table create safety for shy voices. Friendships that can share silence without anxiety are friendships that can hold truth. You can be the one who brings that field. You do not need permission to lead with calm. As we close, remember the 3 movements we covered. Problem. We are drowning in noise, mistaking urgency for importance, leaking our attention, and losing connection with ourselves. Mechanisms. Silence reveals projection, conserves psychic energy, regulates the nervous system, and shapes the field around us. Detachment triggers control stories. Boundaries invite disclosure. Presence redistributes power, and stillness ends emotional outsourcing. Then we reframed silence as active participation, not absence, and we grounded it in micro habits you can start today. This is how the theory becomes your life. In the next part, we will go deeper into silent leadership and quiet boundaries, including scripts for difficult moments and a live 3-minute reset you can do in a crowded room. We will also explore how to track your attention leaks and repair them with gentle practice. If you want those tools, make sure you are subscribed and turn on notifications to protect this space of depth in your week. For now, take one more breath. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Notice the room, notice your body, notice the small clearing inside you. That is yours. No platform can host it. No algorithm can hijack it. No opinion can cancel it. This is your original home. If this episode served you, subscribe and stay close. We are building a community that honors depth over noise, presence over performance, and truth over trend. In the comments, write the words, "I return to silence." As a commitment to yourself and to those who feel your field when you walk in the room, silence is not empty. Silence is full of you. And when you are full of you, you do not need the world to fill you. That is the freedom. Begin again now, in the quiet you carry everywhere.